Okay, so I was driving along the road and I heard the song come on the radio. I was made to be loved by you. I don't know who sings it, but it's a good song. And it got me thinking. My mind's always going about things that I can't control, but I can't stop it neither. Um, and for the most part of 4 years, I've been in so many different relationships, or at least tried working on a relationship with people. And this time, I've been really praying to God about it because I'm tired of dead ends. Like, I've been down every gravel road you could think of trying to find the right person. I want somebody that is right for me and my kids. And that's really hard to find whenever you're a single mom. But I got to listen to this song and it just, God spoke to me. And every relationship I've ever been in has never reflected God. It was never built on God. I always, talk to people in the beginning and ask them where they stand on their faith, and like even if they conflicted how I felt about the Lord, I always thought, well, at least they have that, but I realized they'd be like, oh yeah, I love going to church. I would love to do family things, blah, blah. And never reflected that at all, but I always thought, it's going to come, it's going to come. But I was reading in my Bible, and I can't remember what verse or chapter or anything like that it was in, but I remember it said that if you abide in God, you abide in love. And God abides in you. Well, how can you, to me, if you think about it, you can't truly abide in God without being a loving person. So if the relationship you're in doesn't reflect love, like true love, like Christ-like love, God wants us to be loved like He would love us. He wants us to love others like He would love us. We're supposed to be a reflection of what God wants us to be and what God wants other people to be. All that being said is really just think about it. If you want a closer relationship with God, your relationships that you have in life should reflect Him. Your friendships should reflect Him. If you're hanging out with people that just want to go out and drink and sleep around and just any of those things, listen to how people talk. And I've noticed that just in the last month. Like, I've really been praying hard about it. And in the last month, I have talked to people on the phone that I've talked to for years. And with, we're best friends. And they burn my ears. F this, F that, GD this, GD that. I've never been one to use the GD word. I don't disrespect God. I cuss. I've been trying not to. And that's one of my demons. But I've noticed that my language has gotten cleaner. My heart feels cleaner. But every time I talk to somebody, whether it's through Facebook, text messages, on the phone, in person, whatever it is, or I listen to something, it burns me. Really work on yourself, because I'm only saying this because I've had so many bad relationships that have turned into nothing, a dead end. And honestly, most of the time, I get in these relationships because I think it's going to be a good thing, and I get lonely, and I don't want to be alone. And then you just start getting labeled. Oh, she's a whore. Sorry to say that word, but it's true. She's a whore. She dated this guy and this guy and this guy. Well, yeah, I did. I went on a couple dates. Way too many first dates, for sure. But the thing of it is, that doesn't mean necessarily someone slept with that person. So I'm pretty sure whenever you used to date, you didn't just go on a date with somebody and decide You're going to marry that person and move on. It is hard to find someone who accepts you for who you are, who you can accept for who they are, and who can accept your children. So that whole rant was just stuff that's going through my head, and I hope it helps somebody, because really you can't work on finding the right person whenever you haven't found yourself. And it's really hard, and I've noticed the devil like really tempts me, because then all of a sudden whenever I decide I'm not going to look for something and I'm going to wait for God to work on me, and I'm going to wait for God to send me somebody, I'm getting text messages from people I don't know because someone gave them my number and they thought we'd make a good couple, or Facebook messages, hey, good looking, da da da. That speaks to a girl. Like, we all want to be desired, and it is really hard to decipher out what the devil's sending towards you to distract you from what you're trying to do and what God's sending to you. So I just want to challenge everybody to actually work on themselves and pray hard about the situations that they are in, because I don't want to die and go to hell over my fleshly desires. And I don't mean sex, I mean companionship. Having companionship with the wrong person, somebody that's not glorifying God in your life, can lead you down some roads that you don't want to go down. I've been down them. And it's so hard to look past things. Like, I've dated guys that are good looking, good jobs, could provide, has offered me the world. But I was unhappy. And the reason I was unhappy is because every single one of them, none of them reflected God. They told me how much they love God and they want to go to church and all that stuff. But they never reflected God. I was miserable. Not because they're not good people. They are good people. I've dated lots of great guys. But in the end of it, I could never be happy because it wasn't what burns inside of me. Like, I do stuff that, smoking, I've been trying to quit that for forever, and it's my demon. Cussing. I talk bad about people. I don't try to, and usually whenever I do, I smack myself in the mouth and I'm like, shut up, and people look at me like I'm retarded. But it's a bad habit to downgrade people, whether they're standing there or not. But all of that is just, you really got to focus on yourself in order to be happy. You got to focus on getting yourself right with God before you can ever even understand what God's trying to send your direction. Well, I hope you guys have a wonderful night. I'm done with my rant this time.